Everybody, it's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and I'm gonna discuss a little bit about the fight with Jermaine Ortiz and Teofimo Lopez. Obviously, that fight happened this past Thursday. A lot of people were, I don't want to say excited for that fight. The fight didn't have a lot of buzz, to be honest with you. But anytime Teofimo fights, it's interesting because he's someone who has a very good resume. Beat Lomachenko at 135, beat Josh Taylor at 140, and this fight was for the lineal 140-pound championship. So it was an important fight. How about that? And uh man, how boring was it? And it's unfortunate that this fight, these kinds of fight keep happening. It almost just feels, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. It almost feels like the fights lately, I want to say in the last 4 or 5 years, just haven't been as entertaining as fights from the past, fights from yesteryear. And I don't want to be that guy that hates boxing, that guy that trashes current boxing. But it's like, damn, man, like all this running around, we see it way too often. We saw it with Shakur and De Los Santos, and now we saw it this past Thursday with Jermaine Ortiz and Teofimo Lopez. It's how is the sport going to continue to grow if these guys continue to fight this way? And I'm glad Ortiz didn't get the decision to. Well, one, I thought he lost. I thought the right guy got the decision. I see a lot of people saying that Ortiz got robbed. I don't necessarily believe that. I can see how you can see him winning because it was a lot of nothing fight. It was kind of like fencing. One guy winning around, the other guy kind of chasing him, and one guy landed 5 punches that round, the other guy landed 3. But it's hard to win the fight you running backwards unless you landed hard, crisp, clean punches, which neither fighter was. I don't know, man. I wasn't a fan of the fight, and the judges are not going to reward that kind of behavior in the ring. And and the judges almost didn't reward Shakur Stevenson in his fight with De Los Santos. Those were very close scorecards, and De Los Santos didn't press the action enough to take advantage of those moments, or else he would have won a decision. And like, I'll address the decision. I don't think that Jermaine Ortiz has the right to complain based off the way he fought. You could feel you won, but you gave up your right to complain by you fighting, running around. How you running around? And you could say, "Oh, this is boxing. This isn't a street fight. This is this. This is that." Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still a fight. Yeah, it's boxing, but it's still a fight. And if you running around and not necessarily, and I don't mean like, oh, why you not there brawling with him? That's not what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference between running around and actually skillfully boxing. That's why I never found Mayweather boring. Mayweather, people are like, oh, he's so defensive, he's so this. But yeah, he was standing in that pocket, and and even when he was running around, which wasn't much, and I'm only using that word because some people like to use that. Uh, he was still landing crisp, clean over straight right hands, left hooks, straight hard power jabs to the face, and we're not seeing that from this generation of fighters. A lot of fighters who decide to get on their bike, uh, they just decide to land a few punches and kind of be satisfied with a decision. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all, and I think this is a little bit of a trend of what's going on in boxing. I'm talking about specifically on the bigger fights. I know there's somebody's gonna comment. What about that 112-pounder? Is like, bro, nobody's watching that. At least in America, that's not moving the needle here in America, and that's where I live. So, yes, I watch a lot of boxing, including the smaller weights, but I'm talking about big fights. You know what I'm saying? They haven't really been living up to the hype. We haven't had a great, like, the last time we had a great fight that was anticipated was maybe that Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder 3 fight, which, if you really look back at it, Wilder really only had 2 rounds where he had success, and the rest was pretty much Tyson Fury dominating. If you really rewatch it, There was a lot of intensity because hey man, at any moment Deontay Wilder could land a shot and put this guy out, but it wasn't that competitive of a fight. So I mentioned that fight because I can understand somebody saying that, but probably the last great fight that we had that was anticipated, that was a big fight, and I know Jermaine Ortiz versus Tio wasn't a big fight in terms of monetary, but it was a big fight in terms of it was for the lineal championship. Tio's a big name, a name. I won't say a big name, a name in a division that's loaded. But the last big fight that we had that lived up to the hype was probably Triple G versus Canelo 2. That fight was a fantastic fight. Same thing with the first one. But we haven't had these big events that live up to the event, and I'm almost wondering what's going on. What's happened in the last 4 or 5 years that we can't get these fights to live up to the hype and these fights to be entertaining. And I just remember watching boxing in '09 or 2010, 11, 12, and I remember being a little bit more satisfied with the product, both in the ring and the commentating. Man, it's bad now, man. It's bad. It's to the point where I watch ESPN on mute. It is terrible, man. No disrespect to Tim Bradley. I actually like Tim Bradley. I was a fan of his when he was a fighter. I like him. I think he's good for boxing, and I think he brings value to boxing. But I don't think commentating is where he deserves to be. I think he needs his own podcast or something, or maybe a TV show on ESPN. Maybe pair him up with somebody and where he could go back and forth, give boxing a half hour. You guys used to have a boxing show, Max on Boxing. Max Kellerman's not on no more. Why don't you put Tim Bradley, give him his own show with somebody, pair him up where they could have debates and stuff. I think he brings enough energy, but man, it's unwatched, it's unaudible, bro. I put it on mute. I put it on mute. And same thing with Joe Tessitore, man. Like these guys, I'm not a fan of the ESPN commentators, but that's neither here nor there, man. Something needs to happen in boxing. Something really needs to happen in boxing, and it's unfortunate that's the way it's been. And I'm not. Today's show is not only going to be about that fight. It's not only going to be about boxing being boring. But hold on one second. I'm trying to see if I could get a guest on. Let's see, but we're touching on a few subjects today. I mean, I just wanted to get that off my chest, man. What's going on in boxing? What's going on in boxing that we're not getting the fights we want. I mean, no, excuse me. That's like we're not getting these, just classic fights. When's the last classic fight? When's the last fight that you're like, whoa? And it was between two names. It just feels like it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while that we gotten that. And maybe this obvious fight that I'm slipping on, like, oh my god, how did I get? I thought that the Spence Crawford fight was gonna be that fight, but it was just a brutal, just domination, demolition. Like I think of the words that are associated with destroying, and that's what happened. It was entertaining from that perspective, but not entertaining from the perspective of a competitive back and forth fight. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate defense, but there's a difference between defense and running and just total disregard for I don't know, for the fans, and yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand this is a dangerous sport. You got to protect yourself and all that. Cool. I understand. I'm not against you fighting defensively, but to the point where it's literally fans are booing and fans are walking away and people are talking trash about the sport on the internet. I don't see how that's beneficial for the sport. I'll be honest with you, and that's why UFC is gaining popularity because they have some brutal fights there, man. These kicks and elbows and all that stuff. Hold on, I got my man Benji. My man Benji's on. This is Elvis Rodriguez's manager. If people don't know, what's going on, Benji? How you doing, my man?
What's going on, man?
Uh,
Oh man, bro.
I don't. You've been watching the show from the beginning.
No, I just put the baby down.
Oh, okay. Well, the topic of today, well, one of the topics I wanted to start off the show. How about that? Was about the fight that happened this past Thursday between Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz. How it was a boring fight and all that. And I almost feel like boxing lately has been more boring. I feel like we had those classic fights with with Leonard and Duran, and Mike Tyson was an exciting heavyweight, and Muhammad Ali was in these exciting fights, and
Mickey
you know
Ward and
yeah,
Gotti and
Gotti, Ward,
Castillo,
Morales, Pereira,
Corrales,
Marquez,
Marquez,
Pacquiao,
Pacquiao.
and
Oh
I don't
man.
feel like we get that anymore. And I could be off, and I wanted your opinion, man.
Sure. It's pretty simple. You have made it. You've made it so that you need to be undefeated to make money, and you need to be undefeated to be considered good. And nobody's gonna risk. Why am I gonna risk everyone shitting on me and my future paydays?
So you think fighters don't see value in bringing entertainment?
I there is none. There is none. Can you tell me? Can you name me? Can you name me a fighter who gets paid because he brings entertainment? Fighters
Yeah,
get paid because they win, not because they bring entertainment. They used to get paid because they bring entertainment.
yeah. No, and even as recent history, a guy like Ruslan Provatnikov, he would
Exactly.
he would get opportunities, and just because he's entertaining, and we don't really gotta like who this era's Ruslan Provatnikov, who's just a really entertaining fighter who maybe is limited skill wise, but fuck, he's gonna give you your money's worth. I can't think of that guy.
There's none, and if there is, we haven't heard of them because they don't get opportunities, right? Guys like a Ruslan Provodnikov, regardless of how limited you may think or may not think he is always they're always going to be dangerous for all 12 rounds, and these fighters don't want that, right? They don't want to get in there, and they don't want to risk their payday. This has become a pure business. This is no longer a sport at all. Everyone who thinks this is a sport, they don't understand, bro. That was a good one, Gabe Rosado.
Is I'll, I'll say I could say he's this version of Provatnikov in the sense, not in terms of style, but in terms of he comes, he brings it, he's entertaining, and he gets a lot of fights. He's always
But
on TV.
would a younger prime Gabe Rosado get the opportunities he gets more recently? I don't think so.
I mean, he got a shot at Triple G back when he
No,
was
no, no.
young.
I mean now. If
Oh,
that Gabe Rosado was around now, I don't think he would be getting the shots that he was given.
well, right now boxing is in a weird space because PBC currently has one show. And I don't know, I'm not gonna ask you to comment on that only because you do business with them. But they only have one show, so a lot of people don't. I, I, I'm trying to be careful with my words. A lot of people don't know what's going on, so there's not a lot of dates going around. So I don't know if you could get a shot because there's not a lot of dates going on. I'll say
I,
that.
I, I think a big problem. There's so many problems in boxing, and you can't blame one person, and it's not one thing. Partially, there was a shift, I think, during the Mayweather era where the chickens started running the hen house, right? And they got to pick and choose who and when and how much and if, and you know uh, that you can't run a successful business, and you definitely can't run a successful sport when you let people pick and choose like that, who and when, and and put all of these stipulations and like that. Would any other sport be successful in that way?
Uh, you saying that the play, let's say the NFL let the
Yeah.
players decide the rules.
What if Kansas City said, no, 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 we're not gonna fight. We're not gonna play San Francisco. We're gonna play Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's injured, so looks good to us.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, and that's why I'm a proponent. I'm a very big proponent of tournaments. I feel like tournaments creates a system where it's like kind of like a playoff system where, all right, if you beat this guy, you're gonna fight this guy, you're gonna fight, and
But isn't
people,
that what the ranking system is?
yeah, but we all know the ranking system is corrupt. The ranking system, it's unfortunate, a lot of these, you know, some guys get grace while other people don't, and so it's a corrupt system. It's this WBA regular, WBA interim. I know they're lowering the belts now, like they're consolidating the belts, but there's still a few regular champions hanging around, including David Morrell, and I believe who's the heavyweight regular champion, one of those guys. But my point is, it's relying on them to make a tournament is unrealistic. That has to come from a network, but no network is currently, besides the Zone, truly all in on boxing.
It's tough, right? I don't know. It's a scary place because I love this sport. Like, not for nothing, I love this sport, and I've spent more money in this sport than But I love this sport, and I love my fighters, and I love boxing at its best. There is nothing like it. Unfortunately, it hasn't been at its best for a very long time. And whereas you used to see, maybe a couple of fights a year, it went down to like one fight a year, and then now it's once every couple of years, hopefully. And the system is now working, and I don't know why we're waiting until it breaks to start to fix it.
Do you think it's fixable right now, or you think it's a long gone conclusion, for foregone conclusion?
I look, I gotta be hopeful, right? I hope it is. I really hope it is. Um, for the sake of not only the fans, but also the fighters, man. Like, this is what they do to pay their bills and feed their families, and like, a lot of these guys are putting business and personal issues over, their these people's ability to feed their kids, and that's insane to me, bro. That's insane. Like, what happens to these people if boxing doesn't work out? Where do they go?
No, you're right. You're right. It's a sad it's a sad situation right now, because right now with PBC not having dates, these are people who haven't fought, and when you don't fight, you haven't made money. You haven't made money. You got to figure it out. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
you know me for a while now, and I've always stood. I haven't changed or wavered in terms of my opinions, and I think slowly you're starting to see that maybe I wasn't totally wrong. Um, there was a narrative that changed during the Mayweather era, and then the fans who stayed and the media who stayed are kind of like the guys who drank the Kool-Aid, and they everyone who came after that kind of had to try to fit this narrative, which ultimately gave you the fights that you're getting.
Okay. Can you explain? Can you explain what effect did Mayweather have on boxing that is negative, that in your opinion?
You got sold a yeah. I don't know. It's tough.
Go
You
ahead,
know,
brother. Go ahead, brother. Just what negative effect did Mayweather have on boxing that is
I
current?
think that Mayweather at his peak was Money Mayweather, and the fans who drank the Kool-Aid didn't see or don't really know about Pretty Boy Floyd. And if you're a Money Mayweather guy, then like, you were sold a bill of goods of hitting and not getting hit, and defensive and winning and being undefeated, and collecting belts and waiting and only fighting once and letting it marinate, and like, you know, um, out of nowhere, fans started caring about what fighters got paid. I remember when baseball got when people stopped watching baseball because they went on strike because they weren't getting paid enough, and everyone was like, "Oh, y'all are greedy, yo, get the fuck out of here, bro." And all of a sudden, the Mayweather era fans came, and it was just like, "Oh my God, they're getting paid," and people started like, I don't know how that's not a belt, right? Like that's not an achievement. Like these people aren't paying your bills. I would never count. I come from a different era. I would never count the next man's money,
Mhm.
right?
So
Like that's not my and then he sold you this is prize fighting, not pride fighting. Let me tell you something. If you don't have no pride, you don't got no business in the boxing game or the fight business, bro. Because pride is what keeps you in that ring, bro. I remember a great manager, the late uh ¿cómo se llama este que se murió ahora?
Cameron Duncan.
Cameron Duncan told me, if a guy is worried about money, I'm not worried about working with him, because there's only a certain amount of money that will keep you in the fight when the going gets rough. When you're in there and you're in pain and it's hurting and you feel like you're gonna die, there's no amount of money that's gonna keep you in the fight. You know what keeps you in the fight? Your pride, bro. And the guys who fight for pride and the guys who fight for legacy, those are the guys who make it worth it as fans. Those are the guys who give you great fights. Those are the guys who realistically, when you look at the landscape of boxing, are the ones who ultimately get paid the most. Guys like Canelo, guys like Inoue, right? Like, even Crawford, he's willing to get in there with anybody. When you want to pick and choose, sure, you'll get paydays, but are you going to be on that level? No, you're not, bro.
Let me play devil's advocate. What do you say to the fighter who goes, "Hey man, I'm the one in the ring. I want to hit and not get hit. At the end of the day, I have a family to feed. I have a family. My boxing career maybe is 10 years if I'm lucky, and this is the money I'm gonna support the rest of my family with, and I want to be able to count my money. So I want to make the most money, take the least amount of punishment, and handle my career that. What do you say to a fighter that thinks that way?
You don't have to fight, bro. Like do something else. Yo, if you really add it up, like, and you could do the math, you could work at McDonald's and get paid more than the average fighter. Right? You're choosing,
Not a championship fighter. I'm talking about like
no, not but you are choosing to fight, right? That's like a fireman saying, "Well, I don't want to go in the burning building." Yo, you don't have to be a fireman, bro. You don't want to go in the burning building, go do something else, bro. Right? That is what it is, bro. And people can say what they want to say, and they can sell you a bill of goods and, oh, he's undefeated, or, oh, skills, and, oh, it's just that you don't understand, bro. But a fight is easy, bro. A fight is easy to understand. Like it's no science to it, yo. Like people want to act like, oh, you don't
there's science
understand. And
to it. There's science
no,
to
no,
it.
no, 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 no. In terms of
It's literally
understanding a
called the
fight,
sweet science.
in terms of understanding the fight, right?
Okay.
Like understanding to see who's winning and see. You don't need to be a genius. This isn't wine, bro.
He said this isn't. You're saying this isn't wine. This isn't something you need a you need an acquired taste for. You boxing is
You,
boxing.
boxing is boxing, bro.
I'm not sure what happened with your camera. I can't see you.
Sorry, I'm getting a call.
Oh, okay, no problem. But yeah, no. Listen. I see both perspectives because I'm a fan just like you, and I'll be honest with you. I rather see a brawl. I rather see an exchange than a masterful performance of defensive performance. But I also can enjoy both. But there's a limit to the defense. Like, for example, I never found Mayweather boring. I think what he did was art. What he did, I'll be honest with you. When the way he would time your jab, pull back and throw his right hand over it. The way he would roll your overhand right and throw his overhand right. The way he would, you know, position
Look,
himself on the inside, and he's literally an inch away from you, and you throw 10 punches and you didn't land one. I find I have an appreciation for that. So when you say he like ruined boxing, I don't know. I what I saw was good. What I saw was entertainment. You saying, oh, this isn't wine. You don't need to be a expert to enjoy a fight. A fight should be a fight, meaning a back and forth battle.
I saw something Crawford put up on Instagram where he said, "This is boxing. It's not fighting." And I responded. I said, "Look, what is another word for a boxer?
Fighter.
What's another word for a boxing match?
Fight.
So then why are we talking about that it's not a fight? Like, when did boxing become not fighting? Right? Like, again, like all of this stuff are narratives that were pushed during the Mayweather era to get him paid. And I get it, bro. Like, like if whatever you're trying to sell, if it's a president or whatever, you got to push a narrative to sell that thing, right? It's up to people to buy it. And the people who continue to buy it after it's gone, that's on you, bro. You want to believe the Trump thing, that's cool. Like, that's on you. That's your prerogative. But, it doesn't make you right. It doesn't make you more intellectual. I remember everybody used to go watch a fight and enjoy it. All of a sudden, you went to watch a fight, and if you said something bad, everyone was like, oh, he don't know shit about boxing. That guy's he's a casual. He's a this. He's a bro. That never existed until the Mayweather era. Never. I never heard that until the Mayweather era. He's a casual. Yo, who the fuck are you, bro?
Now, I mean,
you know how many people have been like, oh, you don't know boxing. Bro, I've been in this. I boxed in the amateurs. I've been around boxing since I was 5 years old. I've been in the business for 15 years, but I don't know shit about boxing. And some guy on fucking Twitter wants to tell me, oh, you don't understand. Okay, you're right, yo. Put your money where your mouth is, bro.
So you didn't enjoy watching Mayweather back in the day?
I love Pretty Boy. I thought Pretty Boy was unbelievable, bro. Money Mayweather, I think, is the worst thing that I've ever seen, bro. He pick and chose every single person he fought. He avoided all of the guys who gave him. He avoided all of the styles that gave him the most problems, bro. He struggled against Castillo. That's a poor man's Chavez or poor man's Duran. He struggled against Maidana, again, a poor man's Chavez, a poor man's Duran. Bro, but we're gonna say whatever it is because he has he made mad money. He had the biggest mouth. Okay, cool. Like, if that's what you want to believe, like if Mayweather's your guy and Mayweather is who you love, then you love boxing today. Then boxing is your shit today because there's a bunch of guys that fight just like him.
You really questioning Mayweather's resume? The guy beat.
I'm not gonna get into it. It is what it is, bro. He didn't beat Pacquiao, bro, and he didn't beat De La Hoya. Like, let's stop calling shells of those fighters, bro. I remember when Pacquiao.
Wait a minute. Neither of those two fights. Hold on. Neither of those two fights.
I don't want to hear what he went on and did.
Were people saying that the other guy didn't have a shot? Neither of those two fights.
Did you know this? I'm gonna give you a fact that you can check right now. Did you know that Floyd Mayweather is the only fighter in boxing history that has never gone in the ring as an underdog, ever, not one time?
Well, he's that good.
Nah, there it is. There it is. I knew you were gonna say that, bro. That's nuts. That's nuts. I don't want to hear that, bro. That's nuts. That's not. I mean, it is what it is, bro.
He's that good. Hey, he was always the best.
Look, like I said, if you like the Mayweather era, then boxing's doing great for you because boxing right now is just an extension of the Mayweather era. People waiting around, people fighting once a year, people picking and choosing who they fight. Right? Like the people who love Mayweather and criticize boxing today are hypocrites, bro.
Look, my problem with boxing today is the I hate that fighters are on different networks and they can't. Oh yeah, if he fights on ESPN, he can't. Let's say he can't fight in the zone and this. Back then, it was only two channels. Back in my era, Showtime, HBO. Showtime and HBO worked with every single promoter.
And then what happened? Who happened? I'm just saying, bro. Like, you gotta call it how it is. Like, if we want to pretend like that's not what happened and that's not what started it, you can have fun. It's just coincidence, bro. It's all right, yo. Like, yo, call it how it is. Just say, just at least say, coincidentally, everything started at that time.
What? So you saying Mayweather's the reason HBO left boxing?
I think
No.
I'll reserve why I think HBO left boxing, but
Okay. I mean, hey, listen. But my point is, boxing today, the two biggest problems is the networks being on the fighters being on separate networks and being difficult for cross promotional fights, and this is the biggest problem, to be honest, is the activity between the fighters. I feel like if fighters were to fight 3-4 times a year, that right there
oh,
is what's affecting.
but you hear what you're saying, and then you say,
But how is that? How did Mayweather affect another
how many
fighter?
times a year Mayweather fought?
No, but
How many times a year Mayweather fought?
my point
How many
is,
times a year Mayweather fought?
we'll pull up his box rec. How about that?
How many times he fought? How many times a year did Money
I
Mayweather fight?
listen. I'm not gonna give my opinion. I'm gonna pull up his box rec and we're gonna discuss his box rec.
His Money Mayweather, not Pretty Boy. Money Mayweather.
Okay. When did he become Money Mayweather?
I don't know. Whenever you want. You want to call it Oscar? You want to call it? Yeah, let's call it Oscar. Let's be fair and call it Oscar.
From Oscar De La Hoya, because I don't know if you remember, he like fake retired after Oscar, so he took like 2 years off after Oscar. So, I got his box rec. I'm scrolling down.
Let me ask you something. Who is better to you? Margarito, Maidana, or Castillo? Who wins in that fight? In those fight, if they fight?
One step at a time. One step at a time. So from De La Hoya, he fought Ricky Hatton later that year. So that was 2 times a year. He took 2 years off of like some fake retirement, whatever. Fought once in 09, once in 2010, once in 2011, once in 2012, twice in 2013, twice in 2014, twice in 2015, and I'm not going to count the McGregor one. Yeah, so he wasn't very active. But how does that affect how other fighters
Because it laid out to me. It laid out a game plan, right? Like, let's let things marinate and just fight guys once a year, get them as much money as possible, as less damage as possible, and then keep it moving, bro.
But if you look at the guys who fought one time last year, they're not marinating everything. I think Adama only fought one time last year. What fight was he marinating?
Do you think that Spence and Crawford was marinating for a long time?
And that goes back to what I was saying with the networks thing. Do you think Spence was ducking Crawford or Crawford was ducking Spence, or do you think they were just working on opposite sides of the streets?
I don't think Crawford ducks anybody, bro.
I don't think either of them ducked. I think once Crawford got out of his deal with ESPN / Top Rank, he became available and the fight happened. I think it's pretty clear what happened. There wasn't no over marinating there. I don't think they were purposely not fighting each other to build up the fight.
Look,
the fight was already built up. If anything, it got spoiled.
It's ultimately like a sad state of affairs that's happening right now, and I don't know, bro. It's sad, bro. It's sad because I like legit love boxing. bro. Like, I love boxing. I watch old school fights all the time, bro.
What fight? What was the last old school fight you saw?
Oh, 2 days ago I watched Castillo Corrales on the treadmill.
That's a classic. That's a
I've watched
classic.
that fight like over 100 times, bro.
I mean, you. The last old fight I saw was Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor one.
Spectacular, bro.
Bro,
Spectacular, bro. You
though
see what
that
happens when you got guys, two guys with fucking pride, bro. You think money was gonna do that? Nah, bro. Ain't no amount of money would have had Meldrick Taylor or Chavez taking that kind of punishment for that many rounds, bro.
hey, listen, they
Because at
both
the end of the day, you got to think. Put yourself in the mindset of those people, bro. In the mindset of those people, I'm gonna get 20 million at the end of this, win, lose, or draw. So why am I gonna take this for 12 rounds, yo?
not. Hey, listen, there's more money at the end of the. If money's your motivator, there's more money at the end of the pot.
Nah, bro. You got to look
There's
at it.
more money at the end of the pot.
But you could die. You end up in a hospital. Or you end up like Meldrick Taylor did. Like, bro, he can barely talk. That dude, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And he was never the same. And you take a fight like that, and you're never gonna be the same again, bro.
All right. So, well, what do you say to the guy who goes? You see, you giving me an example of a guy who can't even talk, and he fought the way you want him to fight.
It's the same
Now
thing
I
I
want
said.
to fight the face.
The same thing I tell you the same firefighter burning building situation. It's the same firefighter burning building
No.
situation,
The
bro.
same
Like,
firefighter. No, a firefighter is not. Let's say a firefighter is saying, "Hey, listen, this guy went into burning buildings without his face piece on. I'm gonna wear my face piece."
but that's not what we're saying. We're saying that these guys are just not going in the building.
No, but and these guys are going in the fight. They're just
Nah,
fighting a different style.
nah, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, it's getting tough. Like, look, if you don't take care of the business will crumble. It doesn't matter. You don't want to take care of the sport of boxing. It's not going to keep producing for you, and people are going to change the channel. It's Thursday night, bro. Like, I gotta wake up. I got a kid. I got things to do, bro. I'm not trying to stay up and watch
Yeah,
that nonsense the other day.
I didn't watch that fight live because I had to go to sleep. I ended up watching the fight like on.
I, I fell asleep at around 4, and I got on. I was on the Boxing Voice, and he was like, "Oh, you're crazy. It was a great fight, blah blah." I'm like, "Yo, maybe I missed something, bro. Let me try it again, bro." I tried it again
He
and
said it
fell
was a
asleep.
great fight. He said it was a great fight.
Yeah, he was like,
Matt.
"It was exciting. You ain't fall asleep. You were just tired." And I was like, "Oh shit, maybe he's right. Maybe I fell asleep. Maybe I must have missed something, bro." So I turned it on and I fell asleep. I think around 6, 7 the next time, bro. Like, I can't, Like, look, that's just not the boxing I grew up on, and that's not the boxing that I like, and like that's not the boxing I'm used to. So,
No.
you know,
Hey, listen. Let's change gears because we seem to have a similar mindset, just a little bit of difference on how we got to this place. I wanted to ask in terms of promotion. I feel like a lot of these promoters, and I'm not singling anybody out. I'm talking about all of them, or every single one of them. I feel like they rely a lot on the networks doing the job for them, the fighters doing the job for them, and they don't necessarily promote to the people enough. I don't feel like they do enough on social media. I don't think they do enough in person. Like, just have 4 or 5 guys go to a fucking some spot in Manhattan doing glove giveaways just randomly, not even promoting the fight, just promoting the fighter themselves, doing
I
little.
mean, look, Golden Boy does stuff like that, and something, Top Rank, like, they
They do.
Top Rank promoted the shit out of Elvis, bro. So, like, nothing I can really say there, bro. Like, they were really pushing him, and they had guys coming by the gym, and they were giving us content and giving us, um, they were, I remember Tyson swung by the gym and stuff like, bro. Like, they were it's not everybody, bro. I think like some of these guys, like yo, what like for even Matchroom, what Matchroom did with AJ, bro, like holy shit, bro, like they turned AJ into woof. He was the biggest thing in boxing for a while, bro.
Yeah, but AJ's good looking guy, gold medalist, knockout artist. Bro, I could promote that guy. Like, come on, man. Come on.
I can only judge, like by what's actually happened and with Top Rank, what they did with us, like 100 whatever. Like I know 100 and I think we had 103,000 followers just off Top Rank. Um, and they were, maybe because their platform was so big and they would put them on ESPN and Sports Center and so forth. But like, bro, every time he would fight, he'd gain like 20,000, 30,000 followers, bro.
Man, I loved when he was on Top Rank. I he was very active. He was scoring knockouts, and he was becoming a very popular. I thought he should have won Prospect of the Year that year. They gave it to Berlanga, and unfortunately, for Elvis. But I could understand somewhat. Berlanga did have a lot of first round knockouts that year, so it's kind of like, eh. But Elvis definitely was making his mark over there. And when he lost to Kenneth Sims and got released, PBC picked him up pretty quick. At least it felt
Mm-hmm.
that way. And his first fight, they threw him on Canelo's undercard. I was like, all right, they just gonna pick up where he left off in terms of promoting him and pushing him. And it just kind of seemed like it didn't work out that way.
I don't want to say it didn't work out that way. I just think they have a lot of guys, bro. And like, their guys don't be active like that, right? So, um, but they have a lot of guys. So like, I get it. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of slots. There's a lot of slot. There's not a lot of slots, and there's a lot of fighters.
and I
So
remember going to these fights and seeing how big the card was, and I'd be like, holy shit, there's a lot of fights on this card, bro.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So and that's a part of the sport that it's very difficult for people who are not in the business to understand
We were
because
lucky on PBC, to be honest, because we fought more than a lot of guys did, bro.
Mhm. Mhm.
You
no,
know,
no, that's for sure. A lot of guys fighting once a year. Some guys wouldn't fight at all.
yeah.
And then like yeah, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that were inactive on that side, unfortunately, and it's only gonna get worse from what it seems. Their first show of the year is March 30th, basically April. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say April. So in the first 4 months, you got one fight scheduled, you know, and nothing else like leading up to it. It's a bit concerning as to what the future of the sport, specifically fighters who are signed to PBC, what happens with them. And is that a concern for you? You have a fighter signed on that side. There's only one fight on the schedule.
Look,
You're not on that card.
we got to see how things play out, and we Elvis stays ready. He's in the gym, and when we get the call, he'll be ready. If it's for April, if it's for March, if it's whatever it is, if it's on someone else's card, we got to do what we got to do and to stay active and keep him ranking, keep him getting moving up the rankings, and put one of these guys in a position where they don't have no choice but to give him an opportunity, because that's all really Elvis wants and needs and honestly deserves, is the opportunity to fight, for a world title.
And PBC will allow you, like hypothetically speaking, you got an opportunity to fight on the zone or opportunity to fight on ESPN. PBC, I don't know your contract situation. There will be like it's allowed for you to go and fight somebody on another network.
I mean, I've seen their guys fighting on like other shows and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So, you know,
Okay.
I don't think they're
Okay.
opposed to that right now.
All right. Hey man, I definitely hope to see it. I don't know if you saw. I made a video. Maybe a month ago. I don't remember. I was saying how I really want to see Elvis again. Like I just he's exciting, he's good looking, knockout artist. Uh Probably the most popular Dominican in terms of Instagram followers. And he just doesn't have a fight lined up. And it's kind of like his name doesn't get spoken about anymore. And it's unfortunate because I think I think he has talent to make noise in this division, in a division that's loaded, but unfortunately he doesn't have a fight schedule, so it's hard to get excited for him when he
Yeah,
doesn't
like
have a fight schedule, not even a rumored fight.
we're trying to get on a March show and an April show, so we're gonna, I'll let you know for sure
Mhm.
what date we have. But we're trying to get him on something, and even if it's a stay busy fight, wherever it is, it'll be televised somewhere. But I just got to figure out the right next step for us right now.
How do you feel? Because this is a fight that I've been asking for a while. How do you feel about a fight between Elvis and Gary Antoine Russell, who's highly ranked in quite a few sanctioning bodies, has 100% knockout ratio? You guys have a common opponent. How do you feel about that fight? Is that a fight that you guys would be interested in?
Well, I've been hearing that name and a couple of other names for so long at this point. Like, like we've said yes a million times, but like
Oh, this fight has been discussed, I'll say, with you.
Gary's been discussed, Matias has been discussed, Jose Ramirez has been discussed. What were the other names? Those were the main three names that were shot my way.
Okay, those talks didn't go well.
Well, we say yes. It's on everybody else to say yes, right? Like we don't say no. We were
Mhm.
really banking on that Matias fight. He decided to go a different way, and then I'm hearing that he's saying that he was never like he was offered these 47 pounders. At the WBA convention in Louis Louis de Cuba in front of me approached them and said, "Yo, this is Elvis's manager. Like he's who we want you to fight next." So I mean, I don't know how they can say that they weren't offered a fight with Elvis, but whatever.
What was Subrio Matias manager's response to when you came up when it was
He
told?
seemed he seemed like he was busy with his people and kind of like blew it off. But like, they discussed it. I saw him go back over and talk to him, and he's like, "Yo, look, we're gonna work something out. Hopefully, we can get it done." And I said, "All right, great, bro."
Yeah, and he's now being rumored to fight Liam Paro in Puerto Rico in his next fight on the zone. And that's disappointing because, bro, you imagine Elvis Rodriguez versus Subrio Matias in Puerto Rico, how big that would be. Like, we just had the Serie del Caribe, with the baseball happen.
Then we
We
just smash them.
What's up?
Then we just smash them.
I actually didn't keep. Well, we did beat Puerto Rico. Yes, we
Yeah,
did beat Puerto Rico, but there's that rivalry, a friendly rivalry. A lot of people try to make it seem like it's something bad.
but
There's that rivalry. We have it in baseball. Why not have it in boxing? That would have been a much better sell to the Puerto Rican public than a Liam Paro, who we all know is gonna get smashed. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it is what it is, bro. I think they really will focus on fighting in Puerto Rico, and I guess they got they that's who they can get to go over there.
Elvis would have been willing to go to Puerto Rico.
I think if that would have been on the table for us, like at that point, I would have like I'm just being honest, bro. I'd have had to sit down and really like discuss things and go over things and go over numbers real well. Whereas like if it's here, it's like I'm going in, bro.
The numbers are right. I don't know how much you would want. I'm not going to ask you. I'm not
Yeah,
going to.
I like here. I wasn't even worried about it, bro. Like, yo, we do wherever it is. We'll do it in New York if you want, bro. But like when now we're gonna go to Puerto Rico. Now I'd have had to like sit down and really like discuss it, bro. Like, but it was never presented to me, so
I got you.
it is what it is.
All right, man. Uh, Any other fighters you looking to sign? Oh, matter of fact. But before we even discuss that, let's talk about the. This is an unfortunate situation that I know me and you are aware of, but I want to inform the public how there was the Dominican national team. There were two members that were coming from a tournament from San Cristobal to Santo Domingo, and they were in a car and they got into a really bad car accident and
Yeah, man.
one of the guys that's the light heavyweight from the Dominican national team, Christian
Christian
Pinales,
Pinal. Yeah.
who won gold in the Central American Games,
He's
beating
a
a
little beast,
Cuban.
bro.
Yeah, he was one of the probably the highest regarded member from the team.
Yeah.
He suffered a bunch of cuts and lacerations around his face, neck. Uh, that's all he came out fine. Jose Luis de los Santos, who is Edwin de los Santos, his brother, was also in the car. He came out healthy. But there was a member, the people from the other two car, I believe two people died.
Yeah.
I haven't got
Unfortunately.
confirmation. Yeah, two people died, and one of the assistant trainers that was with them in the car broke his arm.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very unfortunate situation. Do you what do you know about each fighter? Jose Luis de los Santos, Christian Pinales.
I spoke to
As far
Jose
as
Luis. He was fine. He was just a little shooken up, as anybody would be after something like that. And Christian was a little banged up. He needed stitches. He was, you know, in the hospital. I think for like a day or two. But he's all right. Unfortunately, it's more than likely he's gonna be missing the Olympics.
yeah, I got information on that. I spoke to the Dominican Olympic coach, and he said that the injuries don't necessarily eliminate him from like if he was to if he was already qualified, he would have been fully recovered by the
Right,
Olympics.
but he needed to go to a tournament which he can't go to.
Exactly. There's a tournament this month. I believe it's next week. I could be
Yeah,
wrong when the tournament is next week, right?
it's in. I think it's first week of March.
Oh, okay. So it's 3 weeks. In 3 weeks from now, there's a tournament for him to qualify. Unfortunately, his injuries won't be fully recovered by then. So that's why he won't be going to the Olympics. And it's unfortunate because he had a good showing in the World Championship games where he was totally robbed. He definitely beat that Russian. And he went to the Central American Games, won a gold medal, beat a Cuban. Uh, and I was looking forward to seeing what he does in the Olympics, and unfortunately, man, he gets into this car accident. I don't have many details as to what exactly caused the accident, but this has cost him his Olympic dream, and we'll see if he tries for another cycle or if he just goes straight to the pros. But it's unfortunate that he's going through this situation.
Yeah, man. Like, sorry, had another call there.
You busy
Um,
man.
um, you know, um, it's a shame. It's a shame kids like that, like, they really dedicate all of their youth to getting there and hope to be the next big, you know, hope to get an Olympic gold medal to set them up for a nice future as a pro. But I think he'll have his opportunity. He's a talented kid. He's a big kid. He's a good looking kid. He could fight. He could box. He could punch. So he'll have his opportunity, and you'll probably see him go pro sooner than people think.
Is that someone you interested in, or you guys haven't had no talks?
Well, we out there, like, we'll see what happens, bro.
How about this? Are you helping with his medicals? That probably tells me more than any other
Stop
response
it, bro.
you give
Stop
me.
it. Stop it. Stop it.
You're like, yeah, don't worry, I got him in the best hospital. But listen,
Stop
I'm not
it. Stop
signing
it.
him, but he's in the best hospital, best
You know
care.
my you know who my guy is, bro. You know who my guy is, bro.
I know two of them. I know two of them. I won't speak because but that's a
We could speak.
conversation.
You could speak on it. I mean, at this point, like, people gonna see him anyway, and the way boxing is going, who knows, bro?
All right, talk to me about the amateur prospect you're very high on, who you tell me is
The next
probably going to be
Canelo
the next
Alvarez,
big
bro.
thing. Excuse me.
Marcos Verde.
Marcos Verde. He is from Mexico, right?
From
He
Mazatlan, Mexico.
he just won gold in the Pan American Games, right?
Yeah, he won gold at the Pan. He was at some European tournament just now, and he got silver, bro. But
Mm.
I think he fought. I think he lost to Kazakh or Uzbekistan or something like that. But I thought
Those
he
guys
won
are
that
tough.
fight,
Those
bro.
guys are tough. Those guys.
Bro, but this dude is a monster, bro. He's a monster, bro. If he don't become something special, I'm
And
telling
he
you, bro.
and he fights at 154 pounds, correct?
I think he's gonna turn at 54, 60 around there, bro.
So there's money in those divisions. That
Bro,
those
he could, but forget about money. Like, yo, dude, he's charismatic. Like, but more than anything, dude could fight, bro. He could fight. Like,
so he
bro, it's fun, bro. Just why? I mean, just look up his fights,
so he's not gonna be dancing around the ring like Jermaine Ortiz.
bro.
He's
He
not one
could,
of
but
those kind of
yo,
fighters.
he is Canelo. Like, you look at Canelo, how he could box, but and he'll come in. That's him,
Yeah.
bro. Like, he could box, but yo, you hit him, you just gonna make him mad, bro.
Okay. All right. I'm excited. Marcos Verde, you said?
Yeah, so I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually medals in the Olympics, bro. Like he's
That,
really been putting it on people, bro.
yeah, I mean, hey, listen, a Mexican medaling in the Olympics in boxing, I don't I can't think of a more sellable, more marketable person.
Bro,
How advanced in talks are you with him? What's your relationship with him?
that's my man, bro. Like I hit him up all the time, but this is business ultimately, yo. He gotta go wherever whoever brings him the best deal, and it is what it is. But I've been talking to him for a long time, bro. Like that dude, bro, dude is no joke, man. No joke.
All right, I know another fighter that you're a fan of. I'll say it that way is Jose Luis de los Santos,
Yeah,
Edwin
he
de
can
los
fight
Santos'
too, bro.
brother. Talk to me about him. I've seen him fight, and he's definitely a violent, aggressive fighter who comes to fight, and he does fight at a lower weight class, so money investment may be is something to be wary about, but definitely in terms of entertainment and style, and he's had success. He's bronzed in, I believe he bronzed in both the Pan Am and the Central American Games, so he hasn't exactly come out with no medals. What do you know about him? What's your conversations with him, and is he someone you're also interested in? I think he got a call, guys. I got to slip in a question about a Dominican, man. Shout out to Mexico, though, man. Marcos Verde, you know, uh, he's not the first person. I mean, after he mentioned him to me, other people have mentioned him. Oh, yeah. So we was getting back to Jose Luis de los Santos. Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk to
he's
me
a little
about
beast, bro. He's a little beast. Like, he throws a lot of punches and he comes to hurt you, bro. He's not playing around, he's not dancing around, he's not, running around. Like he's in front of you and he's gonna come and he's gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink. So,
him. Okay. All right.
like
It,
those
it, it,
those
those what?
those guys, they're fun to watch. Yo, when you can make watching boxing entertaining, amateur boxing entertaining, like yo,
Is he someone you're interested in maybe getting down with Team Benji?
I gotta see what's up with the state of boxing first, to be honest with you, bro. Like, I'm focused right now. To be honest with you, I'm focused on Elvis, bro. Like Elvis is
Main
that guy.
priority.
Elvis is that guy, and Elvis. I gotta get Elvis his shot. I got to
Mm.
get Elvis his shot, and before I look to take on other people, I got to get Elvis to the top by hook or by crook. You know what I'm saying? But I got to get him there, and he deserves it. And he's a good kid, bro. And he's that kid that I think, at least for me, dispelled all those Dominican uh,
Stereotype.
stereotypes, bro.
Yeah, he hasn't missed weight. He
Never.
yeah, I always get phone calls, but people think I'm lying when I say I get phone calls when guys are in the club or when guys are doing something they're not supposed to. I never got a phone call for Elvis. I never
Nah,
got a call.
he don't fuck around, bro.
Yeah, never got a call. Yo, your man's out here in this club in Santo Domingo and sending me pictures. And no, I've never gotten one of those with him. And so honestly, everybody who knows him that knows me says nothing but positive things. So I'm definitely appreciative of how he's conducted himself and the reputation he's had. Because that's something he told me before. He told me that when people were seeing him box, people thought he was Cuban, and once he would say he was Dominican, they would be like, like.
Yeah,
And then he just kept building his reputation over at
bro.
Wild Card Gym.
Elvis is so much fun, bro. Like forgetting about because he's fun to watch in the fights. He's fun to watch in the gym. Like everybody's like, bro, when he spars, like and people told me the other day that they were all there, and like, it's like all eyes on Elvis. Like, he's going in. It's fun, bro. Like I enjoy boxing when he fights, bro. And it's not because he's my fighter. Like, bro, he's coming to win. You know he's gonna come and try to knock you out. And like that's what this is about, bro.
I also love his combination punching. I like that.
The uppercut.
Like he'll
uppercut
throw the right hook, uppercut,
yeah,
follow with the left hand. That sometimes he'll throw the boom, boom.
Yeah.
Or sometimes he'll throw the uppercut, then the hook. Like
Yeah.
it's never just one shot with that guy. I like that about him. The only thing is, I wish he was a little bit more active in the early rounds. He's a very slow starter.
Yeah, he's a slow starter.
He has those earmuffs and he's taking punches. Sometimes they go around the guard. Sometimes they go between. Sometimes
he's downloading. He's downloading. He's downloading.
Okay. Is that what he's doing? Is when he's or is he just naturally a slow? Because that some fighters are just naturally.
I think he's a slow starter. He's kind of gauging. I think he gauges guys' distance and speed and power and kind of styles. And then he starts looking for the openings.
All right. Well, I definitely can't wait to see him again because, and it's not
you and me both.
I'm not even saying that because you hear. I literally had a whole show about it. I can't wait to see him again. Hopefully he gets something soon. Hopefully, because I believe that Subriel Matias fight isn't exactly signed with Liam Paro. Hopefully, they.
I think in the next couple weeks, I should have an answer as to who his next, when his next fight is going to be.
Okay, an opponent.
No, the opponent is gonna. But I'm gonna lock in a date, and then I'm gonna figure out the opponent. Whatever I gotta do, man.
Hey man, that's exciting stuff. But yo, Benji, man, I truly appreciate you hopping
Yeah,
on.
man. Thank you, brother. It's always a pleasure.
No, it's the pleasure's all mine. You know the door is always open for you. You don't gotta question that.
Yo, you better call that fight on Thursday. You better call it how it was, not just because one guy is Dominican, bro. Like,
no, I called it how it is. I thought T.O. won, but like I don't know. The fight should have been a draw. Nobody deserved to win. I didn't score the fight. I just thought T.O. won, man.
He should have went for broke, bro. He should have went for broke.
You can't fight like that and expect to win. You can't fight like you can't. That style of fighting can't be rewarding.
No, I agree, and it shouldn't be, bro. Whether you have the belt or you don't, bro.
Yeah, man, it's like I don't know. Especially you knowing you the B side, you knowing you the underdog, and although you signed to the promoter, it's more beneficial. T.O. wins. Like why fight like that? I think he but then again, he's not really a puncher. I've never seen Jermaine Ortiz. Really
there's so many ways to go around someone's power. You can counterpunch. You can stay in there and move. You don't have to be on the back foot, backing up all over. Like
No,
that's an
I agree.
excuse that guys give, and you don't have to do that. That's just a choice, right? Ultimately, you're deciding that it's more important to be the fuck away from any danger than to be in there in position to return fire, bro.
Yeah. And again, there's many ways to skin a cat, man. That you could be defensively responsible by still entertaining the fans. I never found Pernell Whitaker boring.
Crawford
Pernell,
is defensively responsible, and I think he's one of the most exciting fighters there is.
yeah. So I'm not saying go out there and be Arturo Gatti, be Mickey Ward. There's a balance. You get what I'm
Pretty
saying?
boy, pretty boy.
Yeah, he was also somebody who was defensively responsible, but also went in there to get the
He,
knockout, and it was entertaining.
bro, you gotta
But
understand,
then again, he had elite skills. Like that guy,
bro. But I mean, there's a lot of guys. Ultimately, like this sport is about pain and violence, and if you are not going in there to inflict violence, then you're
Hello,
not
mío.
boxing, bro.
Okay.
Dime a ver, dime a ver.
¿Cómo
no,
estamos, mi
man,
gente? Mi
no, no,
hermano Benji, always a pleasure having you on, man. We
Gracias,
got to see
gracias.
Elvis come up soon, man. We need entertaining fights, man, in boxing, brother. You know,
Tell everybody, bro. Tell everybody that yo, this guy's one of the most entertaining guys out there, bro.
and I'm hurt because we have this thing in boxing, man, where a guy takes a L or is not the A side fighter, and we don't give. Look at Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias literally lost the fight
Mm-hmm.
and convincingly lost. It wasn't like it was
Mm-hmm.
people were puzzled. And I get up and want to watch this guy any given Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Stylistically, Sims will give anybody a heart. This guy should be the one actually fighting for the WBA title. But we know how boxing is and how boxing works. And when you're not the heavily promoted fighter, nope, the television is not going to give you a shot.
hold on, one. I want to give a introduction. I said he was gonna be on the shore more. My man Jose Corpus,
What's
boxing
up, everyone?
historian. How you doing, my brother?
Saludo,
I'm doing
saludo.
good. You guys, saludo.
Nah, man. You know, we started off. I know you guys me and Benji. We've been rocking out for like about an hour, so I'll give you guys the update as to what we was talking about. We started off the show is boxing more boring now than in previous eras? It almost feels that way. So I have a boxing historian here in Jose Corpus. First of all, thank you so much for coming on the show again. And I wanted your opinion on it. Someone who's watched boxing for whatever 30, 40 years, however long you watch boxing. Is boxing now less entertaining than it was back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s?
Honestly, I don't ever even remember anyone asking that question in the past. So I think that's the answer right
That's
there.
the
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
something's up.
boring and boxing were never in the same sentence.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Yeah, it looks that way, man. I don't know. You're talking about the Teofimo fight, right?
Well, I mean that's part of it, but that's not the only fight I'm referencing. This is plenty of duds we got, and
We had a
and
couple of dogs.
specifically on big fights or fights we really wanted to see or
Okay.
championship fights. It's like a lot of these fights don't live up to the hype anymore.
No, they don't. I mean, just watch the tapes. Look at Hagler Hearns, Leonard Duran, and then look at Mayweather Pac. Look at these most recent fights. Tyson Fury is not exciting. I don't know what it is, but yeah, there seems to be a little bit. They're all good fighters, but um, I don't. This how many fights do we see that we want to watch twice? Can you think of how many fights in the past in the recent years?
I mean, we got Canelo Triple G. We got Canelo Triple G.
That was an average
That's a
fight.
long time ago, though. That was a
Yeah,
long time
you're
ago.
right.
That wasn't no average fight. Come on, that was for 3 belts.
You watch the fights on Channel 4. They used to call them Weekend Warriors. Matt Sal Muhammad, Ray Mancini. They all fought that type of style. It was all exciting fights every Saturday afternoon. So that's what I mean by a regular fight.
Freddie
Oh,
Rhodes.
I
Freddie
thought
Rhodes.
you meant regular
Freddie
skill
Roach.
level or
Every fight he was in was exciting.
Oh, Freddie Roach was crazy when he fought. He was like Jaime Munguia in a way.
Wow.
Freddie Roach, the way he fought, yeah.
Freddie.
You know what's
Freddie.
crazy? I
It's
was
funny.
watching
He trains now, Jaime Munguia. It's funny you mentioned that.
a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
people.
good.
A lot of my family got together for the Crawford and Errol Spence fight.
That
But
was a good fight, though.
even though it was a whitewash, guess what my family was saying? Oh man,
What?
we got to get together for more boxing events because they got to
That was a
see
nice
blood and
But
guts.
you see that right there is the problem with boxing in that when you get beat like that, it so negatively impacts their ability to make good money the next fight because everyone else looks at you like a loser now, right? Because you're not supposed to lose. Like and people in boxing, fans didn't used to think like that. Fans used to just be like, yo, people lose and we come back and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now if you lose, oh, you a bum. That's a word I hate. I hate when people use
They
that.
say,
He a
it's
bum.
pissing me
He a
off, bro.
bum. Like, bro,
It's
who are you?
I've used the word bum a few times. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey Benji, I had a question for Benji. Benji, you have a talented fighter in Elvis like that. Do you get frustrated when you don't get dates, when you don't get a big platform, when you don't get a big fight date, when you know you have a fighter and Elvis is gonna give the fans what they want to see?
You know
'Cause
what's
it's-
funny? I've seen so many people tell me on Twitter and on Instagram that Elvis is their favorite fighter. And like fight fans. And because he's exciting and he goes in there and does whatever it is, it gets frustrating. I think for me, what gets more frustrated is the guys that get the shots. It's like it's always the same guys. It's always, the guys that you can't really sit back and be like, yo, they deserve it, yo. Like, I know why I'm watching Rolly on March 30th, bro. Like, no, nobody knows. Like, I don't know why we're watching this shit, bro, but like, it is what it is, yo.
It's a travesty, bro.
And I feel like we're being force fed the certain guys, for whatever reason.
Down our throats. You gotta like this guy. This is the guy.
Exactly. And like, bro,
And it's not like Rolly's selling 30,000 fans. Then I will understand. But he's not doing that.
when you keep feeding people food they don't want, eventually they stop coming to the table, bro. And like that's what happens. You want to keep feeding people.
Part of my question was, Benji, is there a motivation if a Pro Box TV calls you? If another promoter, if another network calls you, listen, I want to put Elvis on.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah, whatever it is. But I think that Elvis is in a weird position where he's kind of like the name guys. He's too much of a risk for the name guys. And then, so they trying to protect themselves or they're trying to protect their fighters and not put them in with Elvis because, you never know. And then,
guess who has no problems?
The other fighters want too much money to fight them. So it's like an impasse, bro.
And what's amazing is the other fighters that have L's on their records, like Edwin, like Sims, these are the guys that the top guys don't want to fight. The same type of guys. The same type of, it's a dangerous, it's a risky fight. But these guys are fighting each other at the level, at the come up level.
I wanted to ask Jose a question. In terms of when a fighter lost in the 80s, 90s, what was how did the public view them after a loss?
We didn't have social media back then, so we didn't know exactly what was in everyone's heart. And there was also more TV dates, so they got more opportunities. They weren't, it just cut your income when you lost, though, right? You would still get opportunities, but you wouldn't make as much money. So like Jose Pedraza, right? I mean, he keeps popping up on TV for some reason, right? But that would have been average. That would have been, you know what I'm saying, Ray? That would have been average. There's a lot of guys that lost a lot. As long as they put on a good fight, TV would bring them back, and they had their fans.
But you know what? I think
it's like Richard Comey and Jose Pedraza on.
David.
No,
John Ryder
has beaten them.
Yeah,
I think the guys who don't pose much of a threat, but to the A side, but come and make a decent fight, get those opportunities.
I got
Shit
you.
is weird, bro. It's
I,
weird, bro.
I want to shift the conversation a little. First, I keep going back to Jose because this dude is a real deal boxing historian, and I don't think a lot of people understand just how much he knows. So, we had a conversation the other day. I think it might have been yesterday about Vito Antuofermo, and I kind of wanted you to share the story of you meeting him and as well as the church story and how him and the relationship with him and Hagler and all that.
So, Juan and Benji, you guys know who Vito Antuofermo is?
No,
I,
actually,
that
don't.
was the first thing I was gonna say. I don't even know who that is.
He
was
fought.
he was middleweight champ in the late 70s. That's the guy Hagler beat to become middleweight champ, right? Marvin
Okay.
Hagler. Tough Italian guy. His face was like, you couldn't even tell if it was the front of his head or the back of his head. That's how smashed his face was, right? And cool guy. He was in The Godfather, right? He was in a couple of movies. All right, so Vito, when Hagler's second wife was actually Vito's wife's cousin, right? And Hagler moved to Italy after he retired, and he was doing a bunch of movies out in Italy. And he didn't know much Italian. And as he was learning Italian, he was trying to talk to this girl. So he would call Vito all the time. And Vito, how you say this? Vito, how do you say that? Right? Tell me how to say this. Tell me how to say that. So one day, and this is back when cell phones were pretty new, right? 1999, 2000, something like that. And Vito was in church, and he was sitting in the front row. Now, every time Vito tells the story, he tells it a little bit different. But the way he told me was, it was in the front row. The phone rang. He pulled out his phone. He didn't know how to turn it off. Everyone in the church was turning around looking at him like, yo, what are you going to do? And then Vito saw the caller ID and he said, oh, it's Marvin Hagler. Like, it's Marvin Hagler, right? And then the priest told him, it's Marvin Hagler? And Vito said, yeah. And the priest said, okay, you got 2 minutes. So the priest said, okay. Yeah.
But look at that story. A guy like that lost the middleweight title,
bro.
to show you how boxing was part of popular culture. He was in a couple of movies, The Godfather. Yeah. Like, boxing is no longer synonymous with what's going on in the culture no more.
It's different.
And it's unfortunate.
Boxing. I wouldn't say that it's not synonymous with what's going on in the culture. I think it still represents the culture. It's unfortunate the culture sucks right now, and like you got these guys that something that you see in the culture today is there's no pride. So when you see fighters that say this is prize fighting, not pride fighting, I mean, you have girls going on OnlyFans to make money, acting like that's normal, right? There is no more pride out there. So like, we can't be surprised when these guys do what they do because this young generation, like I don't understand them at all.
Microwave success.
My son is that generation's age, and the difference in age between me and my son is much less than the difference in age between me and my mother. And me and my mother have a lot more in common than me and my son do because we just don't understand each other, bro. Like,
I'll say this
about different culture.
I'll say this about today's boxing. Boxing really only has 2 stars, and that's Canelo, who I want to say is the face of boxing, and Tyson Fury, who is the heavy, the pretty much the heavyweight champion. I know.
What's his name? Crawford star?
Crawford's not. I would say AJ's.
I don't think casuals know AJ and Crawford enough for me to call them stars.
Yeah, but Crawford next fight, people are going to sit and watch. It's going to become a.
I mean, AJ pulls in 50,000 people, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in his country, if
AJ was to walk down, ain't nobody else pulling in 50,000 people.
If AJ was to walk down Times Square,
everybody knows who he is, bro. When he was there for when he was doing the rounds for.
Ask your wife if she knows who AJ is.
Brother, Crawford and Spence did how many?
She knows who's Canelo, right?
She knows Canelo.
Crawford and Spence did how many fans? Crawford and Spence did what? 30,000?
What in attendance?
Yeah, how much they did in the
No.
I
title?
think they did 20,000. Well, that it's Vegas, so the place only holds 20. So they sold it out though.
That was
The
kind
gate
of.
did good. The gate did good.
Why would you put that type of gate? You should have put that at a 30, 40,000
No, no,
person.
no, no. That's not how the boxing business works.
Oh, okay.
These casinos, they'll pay a fee for you to put the fight in their arena because they know they're
Yeah,
gonna
but it
make that
wasn't
money
at
back.
it was at the
T-Mobile, I think.
it was at the T-Mobile.
Yeah, and the T-Mobile is in association with
BBC.
no, with
MGM.
one of those casinos. Yeah, I believe the MGM. I
Yeah,
could be
you're right.
wrong.
You're right, though, Joe. When I was out there with Edwin, I realized that a lot of you can't even do lottery over there, bro. So there's a lot of I own this, I own that, and don't take away from my pie, basically.
Yeah, so these casinos, they'll pay a fee because they know they're gonna make that money back. Because after the fight, where everybody's gonna go to the casinos, gambling, they fucking tax return.
I want to ask Benji another question, bro, if you allow me.
No questions. You done? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It was a twofold question. Benji, being a manager in this climate, and like I said before, does it get frustrating dealing with certain networks, not getting the dates that you want?
So you're not really dealing with networks as you're dealing with promoters.
Is he signed to an exclusive promoter?
No.
No. So if any other promoter comes and wants to put him on the network, it won't be a problem.
Yeah, right now we can go on other promotional companies. Al Heyman is our advisor, and we're proceeding, that way. Unless
So he is signed to Al Heyman as an advisor.
To Heyman as an advisor.
Okay, then let's hope in that then at least. Hopefully, that
Heyman
and Rowley will make a great fight, bro.
They would never do that. It was made very clear to me at the WBA convention that fight is never going to happen. So
wow, they made that clear.
Wait, was the boxing business always this messy? I know it's been messy, but like in terms of, it almost feels like I need a political science degree to understand this sport.
Yeah. Now it's a little less. You had more options last time, right? So if New York wasn't giving you some love, you could try Vegas, right? So it was a little more flexible. Now it's so limited, like how many opportunities, and you got to be nice to everybody because they'll if you don't play ball with them, they'll go to the next guy. They got 20 guys waiting for 5 opportunities, right? So it's real hard. You get that one. If you don't shine, they might bypass you the next time. So it's a real hard business because it's kind of like picture trying to be a music artist, and if you got Madison Square Garden, Radio City, you got 10 different choices. But imagine you got 2 choices to work with. So you see how much harder it is. So it's almost like you got to be in the gym all the time and be ready because that phone call may come overnight and you got to be ready to go. Otherwise, you may wait 2 more years for your next opportunity, right? And back in the 80s, instead of waiting 2 years, right, maybe you waited 4 months, right? So it's a lot different that way.
I was asking from a fan's perspective. I feel like to be a hardcore boxing fan, you really have to like dig deep into the business of boxing and know a lot more than you would know the business of baseball or football. I was saying, is that a new
I don't
thing?
think I disagree.
Or
I don't think I think the only thing new is that because of Twitter and social media, everybody thinks they know about the business of boxing and thinks they understand, but they have no idea, bro. If you're not in it and you're not dealing with these people and you're not negotiating and you're not working, like everybody thinks they know, but they have no idea, bro.
Wow.
It's unfortunate because I feel like
can I ask a flip question? Why is it that fans feel the need to have to feel educated on the business side of boxing? Why don't you just be fans of the sport and that's it, bro?
Yes, I think they're just showing off when they try to act like they know more than they do. It's really, I mean, back in the day, we didn't. I mean,
did you care what anybody made? Did that matter to you?
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, we knew Some fights were harder to make. Like if you were Don King or Murad Muhammad or Bob Arum, all right, maybe you don't fight right away. If it was a big enough fight, you get together. But we didn't care about.
But then how much they were making it impact your opinion of the fight?
No, I mean if it, no, we don't care about
Not
that.
at all. Yeah, I don't care about
No,
that.
Today, that's all they care about. How much they make it? How much they make it? Who the fuck cares, bro?
Honestly, I tell Broadway all the time. I think the best thing we could do sometimes is just stay off social media sometimes, right? We could use it. There's too much bochinche on social media. If you use it for the info, find out what's happening, and that's fine. It's great promotion. But you want to get into people's pockets and worry about, what are you going to do that for? Right? We don't. When you go to the pizzeria, you care how much money he made last night, right? How many pizzas he sold? You know what I'm saying? It's just,
bro, it's only boxing, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't put no mind to that. I don't care.
Unfortunately, the fans do today. The fans are like, "Oh, this guy's great because he pays him this." Like, what are you talking about? Who cares, bro?
I think
the fight good, bro?
There's a lot of pocket watching.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the majority of the fans. I think that's just what you're watching on Twitter. If you go to the fights, you don't hear nobody talking about that. So I don't think that's just a few, PhDs, boxing PhDs on social media talking about that. When you go to the fights, you go to the gym, you don't hear that conversation. I don't think so. You've heard
in the gyms, you don't. In the gyms, you never hear nobody.
Yeah, you don't hear that.
Fighters will be talking about, how much he made for that fight and stuff like that, but never like, trying to compare like what am I making and what is he making.
No, and they might look out for each other. Like, yo, I got this much from him, or yo, that guy pays late. Stay away from him. That kind of stuff you hear, but you don't really hear competition like, oh, I'm 20-0 and oh, I sold out this. I don't see that anywhere but on social media, personally.
No, and that's true. That's a good point. When I go to fights, whether I'm mingling with with fans or I'm just going as a fan and I'm enjoying the fight, the conversations we're having with the guy next to me is styles and why
it's very different.
It's very different. Twitter's definitely a different type of world.
Twitter's a funny place sometimes.
Yeah, look at that thing between Ryan and Oscar, bro. That's embarrassing.
It is. It's bad. It's bad that, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, Oscar had his best interest in both. I feel like Ryan was wrong. I mean, then again, Ryan got paid for the Tank fight, but I think Oscar was just trying to protect him by not adding that rehydration clause. And he was like, I don't care. I add the rehydration clause. I want the fight. He ended up getting knocked out, and he wants to position him to fight a Rolly or Jose Ramirez next. And Ryan Garcia made so much noise. Now he's going to fight Devin Haney. And that's another fight I don't think he wins, to be honest with you. I don't think he wins that fight. So, yeah, you're going to be making money, but you're going to be losing fights and also potentially not building up to fight. But then again, Benji, you don't like building up to fights. Make the fights right away, right?
I don't like the whole wait in 5 years for a fight to happen, bro. Like,
no, 5 years, no. I just think after a loss, you get a couple wins under your belt, and then you go to a Devin Haney fight. You don't go.
For Ryan, for sure, bro. Like, why is Ryan getting a title shot? Like, because he has a lot of followers, bro? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
That's the problem we have with boxing. That people can skip and get an opportunity, and everybody that's been there fighting the top contenders in the top 10 get skipped. That's the bullshit with boxing. Yeah. That's why people will call themselves undisputed and 3 times. It's not because they're it. It's because they're getting the opportunity.
They don't gotta earn, and they get easy roads to get there, or they don't gotta earn it. They just magically appear there, bro.
Yeah, bro. There's very few guys that have to really climb up that ladder and really become champions.
Like, yo, Canelo went out of his way to do things a certain way. He didn't have to, bro. He could have taken a way easier road than he did, yo.
I do think it's time for him to fight Benavidez, though. That's it. I don't want to see Canelo against nobody. I don't want to see against nobody. It's Benavidez. Not no Jamal Charlo. I
don't realistically think that's on him, though, right? Like, I think that's ultimately
What do you mean? They're both on PBC.
They want to protect. He's a cash cow. They don't want to give him a heart. It's the way the business works.
No, but that's wrong. And that's wrong. That's the number one versus number two.
I would never say that Canelo is ducking anybody, bro. Like,
if he doesn't fight Benavidez, he's ducking him.
You feel like he fought the best of the best, Benji, in his career?
I think he's taken a lot of fights that he had no business taking, and dangerous fights that guys that are of his caliber would have avoided, bro.
Do you think he avoided Demetrius Andre?
No,
he did.
No,
he did.
I think he took his time.
Demetrius Andre shot himself in the foot, bro.
Yeah, because he wasn't fighting nobody, bro.
He shot himself in the foot, bro.
I think he took his time fighting Triple G, though. I think he waited a couple of years to make that fight.
That's definitely
you know what? He made the fight.
Anyways.
He made the fight, and when everybody said he lost, he got right back in there with him.
And won.
Yeah, I don't mind Canelo too much. I think Canelo, not Canelo. Canelo's doing some special things. He can't fight everybody. Just once in a while, you got that Yildirim fight and stuff like that. It could have been better opponents. But Canelo's far from the biggest problem in boxing. I think if more fighters were like Canelo, we'd be in a much more exciting place.
Yeah.
Wow.
That I definitely agree with. He ended up becoming undisputed at 168 in less than a year. And I'm a Canelo fan. I've never been a big critic of Canelo, but I will be a big critic of Canelo if he fights Jermall Charlo next instead of David Benavidez. That would be embarrassing.
It looks like that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's a shitty way to start off your Amazon PBC deal. For you putting a totally uncompetitive fight where everybody knows those results before the fight happens, when you have probably the best fight in boxing that can be made in or both on your side of the street. You signed both of these guys. You got you got Canelo and Benavidez. I don't know. Figure that shit out, bro. Figure it out. That's the fight to make. And it's entertaining,
bro.
It's entertaining. Benji, you talk about fighters who come and throw punches, and
I think it's a spectacular fight to make.
I heard HBO used to get on these promoters' behinds back in the day. Listen, this is the fight we want next. Make it happen.
HBO made the fights. They didn't give people choices, yo.
Oh, they made the fights.
Yeah, they used to be like, yo, here, like, you want to fight next? All right, you hear the choices. And ultimately, that's why Mayweather left, because he wanted to control his own destiny, whatever you call it.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
HBO.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
My man.
HBO made you, like, they would say, all right, you want to fight here? You can fight one of these guys, bro.
Yeah, they would deny you. They'd give you like 5 or 6 to choose from.
Like, they wouldn't have put him in there with
Andre Berto,
Robert Guerrero or Andre Berto or
towards the end they started to, but when they were first up, yeah, they were selective. They didn't just televise whatever you gave them.
Yeah.
No, I was, by the way, I wasn't saying that wasn't true. I was saying that Mayweather didn't leave because he was trying to duck fights and stuff like that. Like he
wanted to control his own destiny. If you were with HBO,
I mean, he did, and within that destiny, he fought a bunch of great fighters.
I guess if that's what you feel.
I mean, he beat Shane Mosley coming off his best win.
What was he, 41?
Coming off his best win.
Was he 41?
Coming off his best win. Are you going to ignore that fact?
What's his best win?
Margarito.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya was his best win.
Right,
but he was juicing. He was juicing. And he admitted that on camera too.
Who talking about? Mayweather's best win?
Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley was using steroids for that De La Hoya fight. And there's video footage of him being investigated by agents where he admitted that he used drugs to cheat.
I'm not gonna shit on Mosley. Mosley is a hell of a fighter, bro.
And De La Hoya too. I think we gotta
De La Hoya was unbelievable.
De La Hoya took a lot of matchups.
Yo, both those guys were hell of a fighters, and Mayweather beat both of them. I'm just saying, Mayweather beat both. Pacquiao was an all-time
What
great.
is your
Pacquiao was an all-time great.
Hold
But
on,
guess
hold on,
what?
hold on.
Guess what? Mayweather
What's
beat
your
him.
opinion on Floyd?
What do you mean?
What do you think of Floyd?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he won his fights. I heard though through the grapevine that when you accepted a fight with Floyd, there was like a second contract with like all kinds of stipulations that you had agreed to, right? But at the
If I'm
end of
not
the day,
mistaken,
Hold on,
he
you
failed
cut
a
off,
couple of
you cut off.
he failed a couple of
You
drug
cut
tests
off.
himself, but
who me?
You didn't cut off. He didn't cut off. You the one cutting off. I don't know. Juan, you got to get your internet fixed, brother. Yeah.
Juan, you stuck in DSL back there. It looks like.
Yeah, my man. You caught in the Megatron, bro. No. What stipulations are you talking about?
Huh?
What stipulations are you talking about? That
I don't know, man. That's what I heard through the grapevine. It's stuff like you had to agree to so many concessions. You know, you had to, whatever it was, right? Weight, location, date, time, a lot of stuff. So he controlled everything that happened in that fight. Whatever came in that fight, he controlled it. And if you cool with it, you're gonna make the biggest payday in your life. And that's just how it was. I mean,
I'm just not sure. I'm not sure how he gets credit for a lot of those wins. I mean, nobody credits Tyson for Larry Holmes, but he gets credit for. I mean, you can have fun with that, bro. I don't know, bro.
I didn't like his performance.
Mayweather fans make exceptions. Mayweather fans make exceptions for Mayweather that they don't make for anyone else.
Yo, but it's a ridiculous.
Even with guys today, they'd be like,
because the guys you talking about when he beat him, they were Mayweather.
He only fought once a
year. These guys had belts. Hold on, when he beat Pacquiao, he was a WBO champion. When he beat De La Hoya, he was a WBC champion. When he beat Mosley, he was the #1 welterweight coming off his best win, and he was a WBA champion. Cotto was a champion. All these guys you saying were past their prime had a fucking belt. So how the hell he's beating these guys?
All of those. Do you know what?
When most of these guys are older than younger than him.
You can't arguing with a Mayweather fan is like arguing with a Trump supporter. You ain't gonna win. If you like that, that's cool. Like it's your prerogative. You should love boxing today because boxing today is an extension of that.
I think it has hurt the sport more than anything. I don't like it.
It's an extension of Mayweather. Yo, the guys today treat the game the way Mayweather.
Thank you.
They pick and choose.
Yo, hold on. My man repping.
I got my PBC shirt on.
I am a PBC fan because I think they have some of the best fighters right now. But in terms of this zero, at least as engagement as possible, I just don't like that type of style, bro.
Yeah, Floyd was all right. Floyd was all right.
Floyd was a little bit better because he stayed in the pocket.
Where do you think Floyd ranks all time? More or less. You don't got to give me like a
all time. I don't know. Listen, at junior lightweight, he's probably top 2 or 3 at junior lightweight. The way he handled Gennaro Hernandez and Angel Manfredi, that was flawless.
Diego Corrales.
Who? Diego Corrales too. Right.
That was his best win.
Back then, the guy was incredible. I think he would have won every round against Chavez at that weight. As he moved
I
up,
don't know. See, you know what I'll debate? You know what I debate with that? He struggled with Castillo and Maidana.
Floyd was funny because at 130 he was really good. At 135, even against Victoriano Sosa, he struggled. Right, Victoriano was putting it on him at times. Right,
Dominican gave him a little trouble.
Yeah, and then at 140 he looked really good. And 147, I don't count him really as a welterweight. That was the twilight of his career. He was getting paid. He was still handling guys. He was careful about what he did. Right, but
you making noise, brother.
Sorry, my bad. That's me. My bad. Gotta feed the baby.
All the close fights that they gave to him in a vacuum, if we was to watch those fights in a vacuum, he would have lost that first fight against Jose Luis Castillo. He would have lost that fight.
Broadway, take over, Broadway.
What you mean, bro?
I thought he won that fight.
You thought he won the Jose Luis Castillo fight?
Absolutely.
No, you didn't. The first one, no, you didn't. And the Maidana fight?
In the first Maidana fight, he lost.
I gotta rewatch that one. Listen, I rewatched the
He
Castillo
got
fight.
outlanded in like every round in the Castillo fight.
What
I
about
would
the
give you
De La
win.
Hoya fight? You gave it to the Mayweather too?
Fights. But the thing is, I've rewatched y'all know I do the unofficial scorecard. I rewatched the Mayweather Castillo fight with the volume off with like 2-3 other panelists, and we all scored it easy for Mayweather. We had it like
Bro, I'm not gonna
9-3.
get into that. If that's what everybody
Bro,
likes to. Let me just interrupt real quick. If you think if he struggled with Castillo and he struggled with Maidana, they're two guys who had a similar style, who were way better than both those guys. Margarito,
Randall beat Chavez. Like,
hold
if
on
we
a second.
doing
Margarito and Paul Williams, and I don't think it's coincidence that he ain't fight those two guys. I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's neither here nor there. At this point, it's fantasy boxing. Like, we can't play that game. It
I
is
really
what
want
it
to play
is.
the game that we're playing now.
was more skilled or better, Meldrick Taylor, Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd, easy.
So it's like if we playing the cat and mouse game, look how Chavez looked against a defensive fighter in Pernell Whitaker, bro. Oh, another defensive fighter.
You're not. Your Floyd is in I don't know why people categorize Floyd as like this crazy defensive fighter like Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker was on the back.
He's the best. He's better than
Pernell Whitaker was safety first. That's all he was thinking about. Like, yo, Floyd could fight. Like, Floyd had enough power to keep you honest, bro. And I think that's one fact about Floyd that a lot of people don't understand. He had enough power to keep you honest, yo.
Jose, who do you think has a better resume? Julio Cesar Chavez or Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Better resume. Now, who you already said that Mayweather would have won every round at 130.
You know, it's funny because Chavez, if you just go by what he did against Hall of Famers, he struggled with Hall of Famers. Go down the list. Rosario, he owned Rosario. He had Rosario in his back pocket.
He stopped him. That's his best win, really. That's
Camacho was old, but you know, we give it to him.
He dominated.
And I think that's the only two Hall of Famers he beat.
But can I give a better question? Who has a better resume?
Hall of Famers, that's
Who has a better
so.
resume? Mayweather or Pacquiao?
Now Pacquiao got more L's, but Pacquiao also took more risks.
Thank you.
And then Chavez lost to Whitaker. They called it a draw. He lost it. He lost to Costa Azul. He lost to De La Hoya.
I mean,
when you compare,
I'm a Roberto Duran guy.
Hold on. Let him finish.
Duran, yeah. So if you just go by what he did against Hall of Famers, he don't look as strong as you might think.
I'm just saying. I wanted you to break it down because Mayweather, when you look at Mayweather's resume, it's almost.
But that's not a fair, right?
Well, it's one way to come.
Saying Hall of Famer is not fair because you have to gauge where that Hall of Famer was at in their career when they.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I gave him Rosario.
No. I mean for Floyd. Saying that he beat a bunch of Hall of Famers, that that's very misleading.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean there's no perfect measurement tool, but if we use that one because it's quality of opposition, right? And you could say Floyd, like Gotti. Some people say Gotti shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, right? So how much credit you want to give him for that? Yeah. Chavez beat Ruben Castillo and Rocky Lockridge. Those guys were better than Arturo Gotti, right? Chavez. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Back in 1985 or 1986, Chavez came to New York to fight on the undercard of Camacho Rosario, right? And Mike Tyson was fighting that night too. And Chavez stepped by. There used to be a gym in Bed-Stuy. And I remember Juan Veloz, a Puerto Rican guy who was junior featherweight. He was sparring with him. And Chavez at that time had a loss on his record. His record was like 42-1, right? And we were asking him about that loss. And Chavez, I'm going to tell you his exact words. He said, Eso me lo están supuesto borrar. They're supposed to erase that loss, is what he said, right? And then poof, it went away. It was a disqualification loss in his 11th fight against a guy named Miguel Ruiz. He knocked him down, hit him while he was down. But that stayed on his record for like 4 years until all of a sudden he blew up and they put the 0 back on his record. They said some story about it was changed overnight. Yeah, what is exactly how it happened, just like that. So it's funny though because that whole 89-0. I don't know, when he fought Juan Laporte, that fight could have gone either way, right? The Rocky Lockers fight was close. Whitaker, he didn't beat Whitaker. So I don't want to knock Chavez. I like Chavez, right? I thought he was good. I thought he was excellent. There were some nights where he looked really, really good. But if you go by the 89-0, there was some manipulations in there with that record.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
I'm a
Let me
Roberto
read this.
Duran
Let me-
guy. I like Roberto.
No, Duran was the master.
I think Duran smashes Floyd.
Yeah,
Smashes
I
him,
agree.
bro.
I don't know about smash, but I do think Duran would have beat Floyd. I
You know
agree.
who said it? Roger Mayweather said it.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to read this real quick before we continue the conversation. So this is in reference to Julio Cesar Chavez. In his 12th pro fight, Chavez fought Miguel Ruiz on March 4th, 1981 in Culiacan, Mexico. Chavez was officially disqualified by the referee for hitting Ruiz after the bell, ending the first round. But the result was officially overturned the next day by Culiacan Commission.
But that's what they say.
Knockout.
But it was really 4 years later that they overturned it.
I'm just reading what it says.
Yeah,
that's incorrect. He's saying
it's bullshit. I'm gonna show you a picture in a minute. If you look at his fight against Rocky Lockridge, right in the beginning it says it 45-1, and that fight was 1986.
Wow.
I'm gonna text you a screenshot of it.
But by the way, for those who haven't seen the Julio Cesar Chavez Rocky Lockridge fight, if you don't got nothing to do tonight, if whatever Saturday night there's no boxing on, you want to watch a war,
You got to explain to them. You got to
go watch that Rocky Lockridge Chavez fight. What's up?
Tell him he's that meme that everybody loves throwing around all over the place.
Oh yeah, with the crying.
Yeah.
Rocky Lockridge is the guy who's crying like. If you guys have seen it, it's like the best cry ever.
Yeah, it was the craziest cry. You know what that was from, right? From a show where they were trying to clean him.
They were trying to get him like off drugs or something like that, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
I never knew who that was this whole time.
But bro, that fight with him and Julio Cesar Chavez, man, that's one of the greatest fights I've ever seen.
Oh shit! I always wonder who the hell that was.
Yeah, he's a boxer. A borderline Hall of Fame boxer.
Real good boxer, yeah.
You know,
really
Floyd told you who he was, though. He's a prize fighter, not a pride fighter. And he treated his career as such. So
he's also the best fighter. He also told you that. He also told you he was the TBE, the best ever. I don't think he was the best.
The best ever at making money, sure.
Yeah, man, but we want to see.
He has an argument. He has an argument of being the best ever to ever do it.
Bro, George, this type of mindset is the mindset of why none of these guys want to take risks, bro.
Yep.
No, but the thing is, Mayweather took risks. Mayweather fought.
I'm not talking about Mayweather. I'm talking about these modern day fighters, man. They all. Everyone's worrying about the money.
It was mitigated risks. It was mitigated risks.
Not worried about taking
the only fighter to never enter the ring an underdog.
He was that good. He was that good.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Even Jordan went in as an underdog, bro. Is he better than Jordan? Is he better than Jordan?
That's a different sport.
Is he a better athlete than Michael Jordan?
Did Jordan ever lose?
Is he a better athlete than Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Thank you. He's not. So
honestly, I don't know basketball like that. I don't know basketball like that. If Jordan goes in as an underdog,
check the text I sent you, Joel.
I got.
That's from the intros of the Rocky Lockridge fight.
I'll put it up to the screen for the fans.
Okay, check them out. Check it out, Benji.
Oh yeah, it's there. Oh shit.
Hold it a little straighter. Hold it a little closer. Yeah, you see it?
That's nuts, bro.
That's crazy how you can manipulate the game.
Whew.
Listen, if everyone who says that Floyd created the 0, it was really Don King with Larry Holmes. Don King and Larry Holmes were obsessed with that 0. Larry Holmes the whole last 4 or 5 years of his career was trying to match Rocky Marciano, that 49-0, 49-0.
So you
That's
know
why he
what?
was, huh?
I feel like when you get guys like Larry and like Floyd who are kind of difficult to push to, the boxing public or the casual fans,
You need
you
the older
kind of
seller, I guess. Okay.
right. So
Yeah.
you start looking at
Yeah.
a narrative to push, and
But they were so obsessed with that 49-0 that when he fought his 49th fight, he did it on the same day that Rocky Marciano fought his 49th fight, and he did it also against a light heavyweight. That's how obsessed they were with matching Rocky Marciano. And Rocky fought Archie Moore, and Larry fought Michael Spinks, but it backfired on Larry though. But that's how obsessed he was.
Larry lost that fight.
yeah, Michael.
As much of a boxing junkie I am, I've never seen that fight. What did he? I know he wasn't happy with the decision. What do you think of
The
it?
second fight was controversial. The first fight, Spinks got it.
Spinks out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spinks
All
beat
right.
him. Yeah.
This guy's the historian right here, man. This guy, you can
Hey,
literally.
man,
He's
I'm
a
telling
vote.
you.
He's a vote. You guys have any questions?
I'm telling you, man.
I'm loving that you don't really like
He don't
Floyd
know
like
it.
that, though.
Say it again. What?
I'm loving that you don't really like Floyd like that.
I mean, I don't love him. I don't hate him. I don't think. I mean, I'm glad I got to see him. Do I feel like I've seen him take the most risk? Not 100%. Maybe a few times, but not all the time. I don't want to knock the guy. The guy.
What fights would you would have liked to see from him?
Well, Benji mentioned a few. Him and Paul Williams would have been nice. Him and Costa Azul would have been nice.
Him and Margarito.
Shit, I'd have been happy.
Oh, what about the dude who beat him up in sparring? Paul Spadafora?
You wanted to see Paul Spadafora?
I think he'd have beaten Paul in a real fight. I don't know. I don't understand how that happened. Maybe Floyd.
Me neither.
Yeah.
You have a bad day at the camp.
And I think he would have outclassed Margarito.
I would love to have seen him fight Cotto when he was undefeated.
Oh, he wasn't facing Cotto when he was undefeated.
Cotto got knocked out. That's his fault.
And I would love to have seen him fight a prime Manny Pacquiao. Or
and the Pacquiao fight was 5 years too late.
Yeah, I wish Pacquiao would have agreed to the drug test. That's it.
How did you score that?
Bro, that's not the real net. But I mean, I'm not gonna get into it.
How did he score that fight overly crazy for Floyd? That fight.
I mean, whatever. 7-5.
Bro, and if I'm not mistaken, Floyd failed a couple of tests himself, but
that's where Tom Hauser was writing about. He was using to dilute it or something. He was using
Yo, listen, we all know this about the sport, man. It's dirty, bro. And the people that control it have the power. When you can generate $250,000, billions of dollars in one day, you mean to tell me you're not going to control it? There's no association in boxing, bro. The roots of boxing are just nasty. It is what it is.
Unfortunately,
And for us to believe that people can't control the narrative, they have that much power? Come on.
Wait, hold on. Speaking of dirty boxing, I want to shift gears a little bit. My man Jose Corpus is working on a book called the Four Belt Error. Not era. And I have him on here, and I kind of want to give you want you to give the insight to the people what this book is about and what the premise is and what the idea is.
The Four Belt Error?
Error, ERROR.
Oh, wow.
Error, yeah. So listen, 20 years ago, if somebody would have told you that one of these days everyone was going to be calling 4 fighters, 5 fighters, 6 fighters at the same time champion, we'd have thought it was so crazy, right? So if we keep moving in this direction, soon don't throw the word contender out and just make everyone in the top 10 a champion. That's the direction we're moving into, right? You know, so how do we reverse it? Can we reverse it? Can we fix it? I don't know. So what I did was I went back to the beginning of time. I made believe I was the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, the WBO. I went through all the rankings, all their records, and I crowned 4 champions from the beginning of time. Right? And every once in a while, I threw an interim in there. I threw a, whatever they call them, silver. Why not? I'll throw a little bit of everything in there. So that's the project. I'm hoping to release that real soon. Soon as my freaking dog stops bothering me here, I'm about to release that. But that's what I want to do. So I'm going back in
So
history.
the WBC has been the oldest sanctioning body, right?
The WBA.
The WBA has been the oldest.
I
We
believe
got to
so.
talk about that now. So the NBA started it in the 1920s, National Boxing Association. So in 1962 or 1961, they had an election. And the way the NBA used to do it was they would send representatives in every state, right? So throughout the 50s, Latin America, South America in particular, Venezuela and Panama mostly, right? They were, and Peru, they were saying the NBA doesn't rate South American fighters enough. We got to do something about it. So when they found out that the voting was done by state, they went and they said, well, we got a lot of states. You got 50 states, Canada got 8 states, whatever. Peru got 10 states, Venezuela got 50 states, Panama got 100 states, whatever. They did what they wanted to do, and they took over. And they're the ones who changed it to World Boxing Association. It wasn't like a natural growth. They took it hostage. And the WBC formed a couple months after that because the president of Mexico didn't agree with the way they did it. President Leon, he was like, this ain't cool the way they just hijacked the NBA, right? So about 4 months after the NBA was taken over and changed to the WBA, they formed the WBC. And that's how you got the growth of both of them, right? So it wasn't really that the NBA became the WBA. It's that Venezuela and Panamanians, a bunch of them, took it over. And then in the 80s, you saw the same thing when they had another election, and whoever was counting it, the votes, wasn't really, apparently, they accused them of not being good with math. So they didn't believe that election, and that's when the WBO came out. And I forgot the guy's name, but one of them was Dominican. It was a Dominican and a Puerto Rican who started that. And that's when in 1988, they were like, you know what? We don't even want to be a part of the WBA, and they made the WBO. But even before that, a couple years before that, 1985, throughout the 60s, nobody was really paying attention to the WBC. The first time they really started paying attention was when Monzon was champ and when Ali lost to Leon Spinks. And then Don King had a tournament in 1977. He was trying to bring back the U.S. championship, to call it the U.S. champ, because if you look at the champs in the 60s and 70s, they were all from Latin America, except for the heavyweights, right? So they tried to bring it back to America. They were calling it the U.S. champ, but Don King couldn't control himself. Him and Ring Magazine, they had fake records. They were bribing officials and everything. So that became a big scandal. 1977. So 1978, Don King said to Broadway's buddy, Mauricio Suleiman's father, they said, yo, make Ken Norton champ. Forget the Ali Spinks fight. Just make him champ. Just like that. Make him champ. Just like that. And they made him champ. And that's when the WBC started getting recognition, was after Larry Holmes became champ. So
that's a good history right there, man.
Yeah, nobody was really paying any mind to that until later years. And now everyone, I mean, listen, God bless everyone who got a regular belt, interim belt, super belt, diamond belt, franchise belt. But yo, there's too many, man. There's too many.
Bro, the only belt in boxing now is money.
It's what they need to get on TV. You need a belt to get on TV, so they just started giving belts to everybody, and that kind of backfires in the long run. And like in the eyes of the general public, that kind of looks like a joke in a way.
Yeah,
100%. But yo, guys, we've been on for 2 hours.
Great.
It's been a very, very fun live.
Yes,
I appreciate you guys. First, I want to tell the fans who watch all the way to the end, thank you. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also, go buy Black Ink. This is a book written by my man Jose Corpus. It's about the first Latino champion, Panama Al Brown. Go cop the book right here. He did not give me this for free. I bought this book out of my own pocket.
You know, one, you know who Panama Al Brown is?
I think you told me last time. It was not the one that I thought it was.
No, real quick. Boxer from the 1920s from Panama. He was doing real good. Then people found out he was gay. Yeah, that's him. They found out he was gay, and they kind of took the title away from him. Then he had to move to Europe because he wasn't getting love in New York, and he was just too good to be ignored. He ended up beating everyone, became a champ. But then he got syphilis, became a heroin addict, and then he lost his title, and he started performing in the nightclubs, right? He started performing with people like Josephine Baker, right? And he was dancer and sax player, right? Okay. He was playing, he was hanging out with like Langston Hughes and all big names, right? And then he met somebody named John Cocteau, who was like basically like the Martin Scorsese of his day out in France, right? And Cocteau said, Panama, you look like a mess. You need to box. You need to regain your title. Because Al Brown said that the reason he lost his title was because they put rat poison in his water bottle before the fight, right? So Cocteau was a poet, had never ever done anything with boxing, and he said he took him to Coco Chanel's gym and ranch, and he got back into shape and made one of the greatest comebacks ever. Man, he came back from heroin addict, syphilis.
Are you kidding me? A heroin?
That's crazy, bro.
Nobody comes back from heroin.
He became champ finally. And Cocteau was his boyfriend, right? It wasn't just that he was a poet that became his manager, right? So then, the guy went through a lot of shit, right? They used to spit on whatever, call him all kind of homophobic slurs, racial slurs. But finally, he became champ again, and he was living good. And then World War II started, and he lost everything he had in France, came back to New York, selling drugs on the street, died homeless in the middle of Times Square.
That's crazy.
And all that will be in full detail in this book right here. So
and a lot more. I left a lot out, but yeah, that's the gist of his story.
I gotta read that, man. Damn, that's crazy.
Black Ink by Jose Corpus. Make sure you go buy this, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on. I appreciate you. Until next time, guys. Peace.
All right, guys. Be good.
Gracias, mi hermano. Cuídense.
A todos.